Life should be cherished like this. Siafeng. December 2, 2023. Translation edited by Chinyo. When a life does not exchange energy with the external world, it will move towards death. The more completely a life exchanges energy with the external world, the more vibrant it becomes. The more closed off a life is, the more lacking in vitality it becomes, and the more it tends towards rigidity and ultimately death. Conversely, the more open a life is, the more vibrant it becomes, and the closer it gets to longevity. The condition of life is similar to the state of a nation. The more open and inclusive a nation is, the more it tends towards civilization and development. The more closed and exclusive a nation is, the more it tends towards ignorance and backwardness. Just look at which nations in the world are civilized and developed and which are backward and barbaric, and you'll draw your own conclusions. Once we understand the relationship between a life and the external world, we understand how to cherish life. The key to cherishing life is to maintain the most open and unobstructed relationship with the external world to the greatest extent possible. What is the primary symptom of depression? The answer is fear of contact and communication with others, even refusing to interact with them, and closing oneself off. If you confine a lively, intelligent, and wise person, preventing them from interacting with the outside world, from talking to people, from reading, watching TV, or surfing the internet, and even from experiencing nature, keeping them locked in a room for 3 or 5 years, what will happen to that person? They will become fools, walking corpses, or even go insane and die. Therefore, for a person, as a life, the contact, communication, and interaction with the outside world directly affect the strength and longevity of life. So, I ask, why do some elderly farmers living in remote and backward villages have very limited contact with the outside world but still live healthy and long lives? Why do some white-collar workers living in big cities, who are exposed to almost unlimited external information every day, still feel depressed and have short lives? The answer lies in the level of stress in life. Low stress tends to lead to relatively good health and longevity, while high stress tends to lead to weakness and a short life. This is not directly related to the exchange of information with the outside world but is a different topic from the theme of this article. From the perspective of the 3 laws of thermodynamics, energy is conserved, but it undergoes transformation. In the process of transformation, some energy is inevitably wasted and cannot be reused. This concept is called entropy. In this way, it can be observed that in an isolated system, the entropy value will increase, which means that the amount of energy wasted and no longer usable will increase. Eventually, the entire system will collapse without flow or exchange of energy, and as a life, it will also end its journey. Preventing the increase of entropy is the most effective way to cherish life. So, how do we mitigate the increase of entropy? An effective method to prevent the increase of entropy is to introduce negative entropy into the system, also known as absorbing negative entropy. So, what is negative entropy? Anything that can counteract the increase of entropy in a system, whether material, mental, or spiritual energy, can be called negative entropy. Let's illustrate with examples. If a person wants to commit suicide due to a failed relationship, it means that their entropy has increased to the point of collapse. At this point, saying anything comforting may not be very effective. The most effective solution is to provide negative entropy, which means introducing a more attractive person into their life for them to fall in love with again. In this way, the negative entropy counteracts the original increase in entropy, and their emotional world returns to its original state. Another example, if a person loses faith in life due to financial difficulties, any comforting words may not be very effective. However, giving them money directly can restore their confidence in life. If a puddle of water is not replenished with fresh water, it will soon become stagnant and foul. However, if fresh water is constantly added, allowing the stagnant portion of the water to flow away, the puddle will remain pure and not dry up for a long time. The fresh water added to the puddle is like taking in negative entropy. In fact, the principle is the same as the process of eating, drinking, and excreting every day. Various phenomena indicate that to maintain vitality and longevity, we must absorb more negative entropy from the external environment. This principle tells us that the life force, vitality, and longevity of the Lifechanyuan members will definitely surpass those of others because Lifechanyuan members have broken away from the traditional mindset and lifestyle with high entropy values, directly breaking the rigid and lifeless life routines and adopting a brand new mindset and lifestyle with negative entropy. This is like reformatting a computer nearing crash and installing new software, rejuvenating it. Therefore, when a system becomes stagnant and lacks vitality, causing disappointment or even despair, it must be replaced by a completely new system, otherwise, the system will undoubtedly perish. This holds true for nations, ethnicities, political and religious organizations, as well as any enterprise or diverse group. Individuals are no exception. Therefore, it is crucial to participating in continuous learning and exploration, to venture out and welcome others in, to maintain an open mind and an open soul, to engage in meaningful communication with others, especially those whose perspectives differ from our own. We must avoid closing ourselves off, constantly discard our past knowledge and experiences, never assuming we are always right. By remaining open-minded, we can embrace diverse perspectives, constantly restrain the increase of entropy, and move towards a state akin to heaven.